WMC Memphis, WMFS HD2 Bartlett Memphis, ESPN 790 AM with Colin Coward and The Herd, weekday mornings from 9 a.m. till noon.
The views and opinions of the hosts or guests of the following program do not necessarily reflect those of the management or staff of Intercom Memphis.
Watch the sunrise, new day's dawning, and it's calling you and me. Where the mighty Mississippi flows by Memphis, Tennessee. We've got woodlands, fields, and water. Hey, there is no better way. You can find out all about it on Outdoors with Larry Ray. Make some time, take the family, ask a friend, but don't delay. Listen up and learn about it on Outdoors with Larry Ray. Listen up and learn about it on Outdoors with Larry Ray.
Good Saturday morning. Welcome to another edition of the award-winning Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790. Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, Gaston's White River Resort, and Barton Power Sports. Now, here's your host, Larry Ray.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790. Wow, we got a full show today, as we always do. We're in the countdown right now to the grand opening next week of the Bass Pro at the Pyramid. I think that's the name of it. That's the official name, but we're going to talk a lot about that on today's show because, you know, when we come on the air next week for Open Mic Saturday and take your calls, it will have already been open. The original opening date, I was told, was going to be May the 1st, but they've now done it to April the 29th with a big conservation night on April the 29th with around 6 o'clock. We're going to talk a lot about the Bass Pro today. Of course, this being the fourth Saturday of the month, which is hard to believe, we have the usual list of what do we call them in here? Suspects, that's it, yeah. And that is Bill Cooksey. He's the editor of the Mid-South Hunting and Fishing Magazine. Good morning, Bill.
Morning, Larry.
Glad to have you here, Bill. Put out that next edition and got on in here, got through with it on Wednesday and is in here today on Saturday morning.
That's right.
Yeah, and would rather be turkey hunting. I know that for a fact.
That's right, too.
And then, of course, the other person in the studio, this is Bonus Wong. You know, you've heard of Hannes Wagner. This is Bonus Wong. You know.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Larry. Good morning, Bill. Good morning, Jeff, everybody. Wow.
That's Greg. That's Greg. Yeah, you don't recognize him in his Blackhawks outfit here. See, he's got on his hockey.
The NHL's going.
I thought that was a retro football jersey.
No. We're not going to get into that because then he'd get on the microphone and start talking hockey to us. You know.
Oh no,
it's too early on Saturday morning. But Ron's been everywhere too, and so was Bill. We all of us were at Gaston's last week for the 8th annual Gaston's Media Gathering. Of course, Ron's been many times. I've been for all of them. I can tell you that.
Well, yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, it would be. Well, I don't know, but anyway, we had over 30 there, and Bill's first trip, first time to be a part of it.
First time to be in that gathering. I've been to Gaston's many times, and even been there while you were having the gathering.
Yes, I remember that. But now you were there.
Now I was there officially,
and. Enjoyed it, didn't you?
Absolutely. I mean, catching brown trout and eating morel mushrooms on the bank.
Oh, yeah.
How much better does it get?
Well, I got to tell you, a big thank you to Jim Gaston.
Oh, yeah.
His whole crew.
Yeah.
For a wonderful time. Golly, we caught a bunch of trout. The rain didn't stop anybody.
No, not that I know
great
of.
Time, great food, great companionship. It doesn't get any better, and I will tell you, I highly recommend anybody that has a family that's looking for a quick getaway, a short getaway for a short weekend or whatever, Gaston's is a place to go. There's so much to do for the whole family there.
Yeah, and
it's pretty amazing.
In the summertime, you folks, of course, you know Gaston's one of our sponsors, and Jim and I go back a long way. But summertime, when you go to Gaston's, they got the pool, they got everything else over there, but they also have air conditioned water on the river.
Stays about 45 degrees year round.
Yeah, you fish
year round.
If you've never fished at Gaston's on the White River below Bull Shoals Dam on a summer morning when the temperature is supposed to be 98 that day, I'm telling you, you're still going to have a jacket on when you fish that morning.
Well, that water makes you feel cooler. Certainly does.
Well, if there's a breeze, and there usually is a breeze. But anyway, we had a great time at Gaston's. Yes, I did get a little wet, and we'll talk about that later in the show because
we're taking up a collection to buy Larry a new rain suit. Ron Brannaman, the general manager over at Gaston's, last thing he told me before I left, he said, we're taking up a collection. Larry needs a new rain suit. He just can't afford to buy even a poncho.
We're not even talking about the rain suit that I thought was waterproof, but it was water resistant.
There's a difference.
I know there's a big difference now. Of course, Bill is so tough, and he's a young man, of course, too. He can handle conditions.
Compared to us, yes.
Well, yeah, but anyway,
a duck hunter would appreciate how you looked when you took those bibs off. Just like everyone knows where waders start leaking.
Yes,
that's where Larry's bibs were leaking.
I had forgotten my Depends that morning. That's what I said. I can't help it. That's the way it was and everything. But hey, a great time, and we'll talk more about that as we get into the show. But because we've got some interesting things, and then Ron and myself were down in North Mississippi this past week.
Yes, we were
talking. I was turkey hunting, and Ron was fishing.
And I got to tell you something.
Ron brought home more than you.
Yes, he did.
We had a good trip, and I will tell you.
Let me put that down. Ron brought home more than me. I mean, mark that down next to Bill the 12th. Okay, all right.
But with all the recent rains, all of the I-55 lakes, as they call them, Marco Butler, Sardis, Enid, Grenada, are starting to rise pretty well. The upper ends of all of those lakes are very muddy because of all the rain.
Yeah.
The lower ends of the lakes are very stained but fishable. There are places off of the river in Sardis and Enid especially where you can get off and catch some fish, but it's pretty muddy right now. You got to fish slow. You got to slow down. But we caught some pretty nice crappie. We got into some pretty good white bass, which is always fun.
Yeah.
Just a peanut craft lure jig, 1/16 ounce black and chartreuse tipped with a big minnow, and about 1.5 to 3 feet deep. You can't really go any deeper because the fish can't see it.
Yeah,
it's so muddy, and just hold it still, and those fish will eat.
Well, Ron and myself were part of a small group that, thanks to the Robert Woods and his family down there.
Wonderful family
in Holly Springs, and Bob Woods. They've got 3,500 acres down there, and I had a chance to turkey hunt a couple of times with Robert and enjoyed the hospitality, all thanks to the state of Mississippi and Mike Jones and those folks who
absolutely
allowed us to have a little break in the license for 7 days, and we appreciate that and plan to be writing something about that. You might see it tomorrow in the commercial appeal.
Right.
It's I'm not going to give away any tips, but you might see that tomorrow in the paper.
Well, I will tell you, that's one fine family, the Woods family, and I had a great time with Robert.
Yeah, you got to show them all the places. You got to go to Taylor's, and you got to go to you didn't get to go to Como Steakhouse, but you did take them to Taylor's, right?
I could have went. Yeah, we went to
you
Taylor's
were too busy.
Grocery, and
you had to go meet
Robert's,
Hugh Freeze. You had to go meet Hugh Freeze when the Rebel Caravan came through here.
Who's that?
Oh, Hugh Freeze. You know him?
Who?
Oh, that guy used to be at Briar Creek. Yeah.
Very, very fine gentleman.
What's Robert Woods
and
is a graduate of Briarcrest, and he played some football there.
He played the last 2 years that Hugh Freeze was there as a coach.
Yeah.
Robert was on the starting.
Yes, he was
football team that won 2 straight championships, high school championships there at Briarcrest, and
so
even though he's a state
yes,
graduate,
he is. Yeah,
he absolutely respects Coach Freeze, and we talked a lot about that. And I will tell you, just the family.
Let's get back to the Blackhawks.
Good people.
I mean, we're getting on Ole Miss now. We hadn't. We got.
How was the turkey hunting?
Turkey hunting was it was great.
They saw
lots of birds.
They saw lots of birds.
Saw lots of birds. Shot and missed a bird. Yes.
Who did?
I did.
Really?
And Robert
did.
Robert did. Both of us did.
It happens.
We came up out of the ditch. We ran along. We tried a mid-morning hunt. You remember you talked about that?
Yeah.
And so we'd gotten up early that other day, real early. And so we tried a mid-morning hunt, and as soon as we pulled up in that big Ford 250 he's got.
You kind of had to rock it back and forth.
I
understand he wanted you to kind of come, maybe get out and help push.
Yeah, I almost had to do that. But no, we got there, and there they were right out in the field. And so we snuck around, and it was only later that Robert learned my age. I told him my age, and he didn't believe it. But, but I snuck with him, and we snuck along the edge of the field. They were in the next field. You could hear them. There was gobblers. They were out there, and then we said, well, there's a ditch right here. Well, we crawled through the ditch, and we could see them barely. And he said, you take the one on the left, and I take the one on the right. As soon as we pop up out of the ditch, and we popped up out of the ditch, I shot at the one on the left. He shot at the one on the right. And as far as I know, they're probably in Brinkley, Arkansas by now. They took to the air,
How far were they?
About 50 yards. It was too far. It was for me. And we didn't realize how far they were, but you had to do it.
Yeah.
And so I knew I had my pattern. My 20 gauge Remington. I had it, with my choke and everything. But if he would have hit his and I would have missed mine, I would have felt bad, but I would have said, no, I was shooting the one on the right.
Yeah.
If he would have hit it, I would have said, no, I was shooting at that one on the right.
Well, now, if you're shooting a load I told you to shoot.
I'm shooting the load, yeah.
You have a 50-yard pattern.
I know it. Well, that's enough.
So,
I missed it.
But that's okay.
I missed it. It was an experience.
It's better to miss than to have made a mistake.
Yeah, we didn't make a mistake.
Yardage estimate.
No, we didn't make a mistake, and mine was a bigger one, I know that. But I'm not through. I'm planning to try to hunt the next week.
Get back on that horse, Larry.
I don't ride horses. That's my problem.
No,
it's a fair, I know. A speech there, but I'll be at the Tennessee Outdoor Writers Conference coming up next week, and reporting live from Pickwick Landing State Park on next Saturday morning while Dave Gabbert and Gene Smith are in the studio. So.
And I hope to call in and give a report on what's happening with the BASS Elite Tournament out of Sacramento, California, live.
Do you know what time that'll be, Ron, when you call in? You're not going to call in, Ron. Huh? You're not going to call in.
Actually, I may try to.
It's 6. You're going to call in the last segment?
The last segment, that's right.
It would be good. And you can hear Ron actually talk that early in the morning. He has a different dialect early in the morning.
It's not it's not very recognizable.
No. Ron that early, we will definitely enter that in the contest. All right, let's take a break on Outdoors with Larry Ray. We're going to come back and talk about Grenada being ranked as the #1 lake for trophy crappie in the United States.
Yep.
All right, be right back on ESPN 790.
Find out all about it on Outdoors with Larry.